September 10th, 2025. Utah Valley University, Orem, Utah. It was supposed to be just another stop on the tour, another campus, another debate, another day in the life of one of America's most controversial political figures. Charlie Kirk, the 31-year-old founder of Turning Point USA, had built an empire on controversy. His American Comeback Tour had touched dozens of college campuses across the nation. But on this Tuesday afternoon, at exactly 12:04 p.m. Mountain Time, everything changed. The event was open to the public. Students, community members, and political activists packed into the outdoor amphitheater. Kirk was in his element, taking questions, sparring with critics, defending his positions. The energy was intense. People were passionate. At approximately noon, Kirk began taking questions from the audience. Then someone asked about mass shootings and gun violence. It was during his response to that question that the shooter made his move. From a rooftop 142 yards away, positioned like a military sniper, the gunman took aim. One shot, clean, precise, deadly. The shot struck Kirk in the neck. Despite immediate medical response, he was pronounced dead at a nearby hospital shortly after arrival. Charles James Kirk, a man who had spent his adult life in the spotlight, who had debated thousands, who had influenced millions, was gone, assassinated in broad daylight on an American college campus. To understand what happened that day, we need to understand who Charlie Kirk was and why he became a target. His mission was to combat what he called leftist indoctrination on college campuses. Charlie Kirk understood something fundamental about modern politics. The battle for America's future would be fought on college campuses and social media. He weaponized both. By 2025, Kirk had amassed millions of followers. His podcast topped charts. His organization had chapters on thousands of campuses. He was a kingmaker in conservative politics. Someone presidents called, someone activists feared. But with influence came controversy. His rhetoric on immigration, gender identity, and race drew fierce criticism. Protests followed him everywhere. Death threats became routine. Kirk knew he was a lightning rod. He wore it as a badge of honor, but few imagined it would end like this. Within minutes of the shooting, Utah Valley University was locked down. Local police, the FBI, and ATF descended on the scene. The shooter had vanished, but he had left something behind. On the rooftop, investigators found shell casings. In a wooded area near the university, they discovered the weapon, a rifle that would become crucial evidence in the case. But what they found on those bullet casings sent shockwaves through the investigation. The casings had engravings, messages. One of them read, "Hey, fascist, catch." This wasn't just a murder. This was a statement. The FBI released surveillance photos. Security camera footage showed a young man fleeing the scene. A $100,000 reward was offered. The nation held its breath. Who had killed Charlie Kirk? And why? The manhunt lasted less than 48 hours. On September 12th, authorities arrested 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, a Utah resident with no prior criminal record, no history of violence, and no apparent connection to any organized political groups. But the story of how they found him is almost as shocking as the crime itself. It was his father who turned him in. After seeing his son's photo in the news, Robinson's father convinced him to come home. Tyler had implied he was planning to take his own life. His parents convinced him to stay, to talk. In conversations with his parents and a family friend, Robinson admitted to the shooting. But the question everyone wanted answered was simple. Why? Why would a 22-year-old with no criminal history assassinate one of the most prominent political figures in America? According to prosecutors, Robinson was in a romantic relationship with his roommate, a transgender man who was transitioning. Court documents revealed text messages in which Robinson allegedly told his partner he killed Kirk because he had enough of his hatred. Despite extensive investigation, authorities found no evidence connecting Robinson to any organized groups or broader conspiracy. Every indication suggests he acted alone. But the engraved bullet casings, the anti-fascist messaging, the timing during Kirk's response to a question about mass shootings, it all painted a disturbing picture of premeditation. On September 10th, 2025, at a college campus in Utah, American political discourse crossed a line it can never uncross. A life was taken. What really happened? We may know the facts of that day, the shot, the manhunt, the arrest, but the deeper questions remain. How did we get here? And where do we go from here?